Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the Study UK Alumni Award Ceremony 2021. We're obviously grateful for the opportunity to have you all here locally with us and physically present. But we are obviously adhering to Qatari local laws, so we are limited in number today. And I would ask that while when you're not seated at the table, please keep your masks on. No shaking of hands, fist bumps or elbow bumps will suffice today. And also there's hand sanitizer available for anyone who wants to use it throughout the event. The other thing, obviously, is that we don't have the usual complement of people that we have at these awards. So while we would really encourage you to use Twitter, Facebook, social media, and hashtag us at UK Alumni Awards. Excellent. So with all of that said and done, could I invite to the stage the Country Director for the British Council in Qatar, Mrs. Samer Ahmed, to deliver her introductory remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a really, really warm welcome to all of you. It's really wonderful to have everybody here physically present for our third UK Alumni Award ceremony. Before we start this afternoon, I would like first and foremost to say a big thank you to all of our judges. We really, really appreciate your time and the expertise that you shared with us to make this happen. So thank you so much to His Excellency Mr. John Wilkes, the British Ambassador of the State of Qatar, Mr. Khalifa Al Haroon, founder of I Love Qatar, and a previous global Alumni Award winner for the Entrepreneurial Award, Dr. Amal Al-Malki, founding Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at Hamad bin Khalifa University, Dr. Noura Al-Faiz, Assistant Professor of the College of Engineering at Qatar University, and also one of our very valued board members, and Mr. Ahmad Turkman, Group CEO of Rumaila Group and Chairman of the Qatar British Business Forum. So thank you to all of us for being able to make this happen this year. We're really, really delighted to be able to go ahead with it. So we're all here this afternoon for two reasons. First of all, to shine a light on some really, really inspiring people that are doing remarkable things with their lives, and also to celebrate UK higher education and to demonstrate the impact that it can have on individuals, on their communities, and also on the countries that they're living in. So two reasons. The Alumni Awards were developed by UK universities and the British Council. The British Council is the UK's international organisation for cultural relations. We work to build trust, understanding and connections between people in the UK and those and other people overseas. And we do that through the work that we do in arts and culture, in English, and also in education. So we, in education, for example, we do a lot around encouraging young people in the UK to open their worldview and gain overseas experience. And we also encourage people from overseas to come to the UK and study in the UK. We think that's a good thing. We think that helps to create a more connected and diverse open global community. So we are celebrating that this afternoon, particularly our network here in Qatar. It's really brilliant to see some of our previous winners here this evening, and I need to sort of also underline that in Qatar we have an extremely high caliber amongst our network. We have delivered to the international competition 2 global winners in the last 3 years. So our next finalists, that you've got your challenge set ahead for you. But I mentioned that Khalif Al Haroun won the Entrepreneurial Award, but also Dr. Noha here, who's sitting next to him, the previous year won the Professional Achievement Award. So really brilliant example of what they can do. So this year's this year's finalists have likewise made a huge impact in the work that they're doing and are real inspirations to the next generation. You will hear a lot more about them shortly, but before we do that, it's my great pleasure to hand the floor over to His Excellency British Ambassador to the State of Qatar, Mr. John Wilkes. Thank you.
Welcome everybody, marhaba. My name's John Wilkes and I'm the British Ambassador, and I arrived about a year ago, just under a year. And this is the first event I've been able to host here in the terrace, on the terrace behind the embassy. So it's a double pleasure for me to welcome you here, but also to show how we can start to organize events like this, even as we live with COVID and respect all the local requirements. Education and the relationship between the UK and Qatar is hugely important to both countries. The UK, I'm glad to say, is still the #1 destination for Qataris studying abroad. That's something we're very proud of, and it's something we want to preserve and encourage. And I'm glad to say that now we have left the European Union and we have control of our borders, one of the things we are doing as we introduce a new immigration policy is to make it easier to come and study and work after your study in the UK. And that's because we attach so much importance to the UK being a centre for people to come and study and research and work, and attracting talent from all over the world is very important to us. It's particularly important to us from this region, the Gulf region, and from Qatar. First of all, because there are so many talented people. Secondly, because we have a historic relationship. People have traditionally from this part of the world come to the UK, and they have been among the most outstanding students who've come back to take on leadership roles in society and the state and the military and other public services. So for Qatar to be part of this Alumni Awards and to be in a very small number of countries who also contribute to the global awards is a sign of 2 really important things. One is Qatar's vision and success in implementing that vision for education and human capital of Qatari citizens to be at the heart of that vision. That's inspiring for all of us who come to live and work here. And secondly, it's important because for the UK, as I said, for us to be partners with you and with this region, and indeed to attract talent from all over the world, is incredibly important for our vision in our new period of history as we look forward. It gives me personal pleasure to be with you and with all of our alumni for this reason. As some of you know, today is not a day maybe for spending a lot of time talking Arabic, but as you know, I speak Arabic and I've worked in the region for nearly 30 years, and I learnt Arabic and was educated about Middle Eastern affairs and Middle Eastern culture through the Foreign Office. So although I didn't study at a university in the Middle East, I went first to Egypt, and then I traveled and worked in Sudan and Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and the Emirates and Yemen and Iraq, and now I come to and Oman. I was in Oman as well, and now I come to Qatar. So in all of that, you know, my education developed hugely in every post, not just Arabic language or the culture of the different countries, but actually how the UK can best develop partnerships that work for the countries of the region and for the UK. And the one consistent thread in all those countries, how different they are from Yemen to Iraq to Qatar to Oman and to Egypt, the dimension of education in the broadest sense, and the relationships between our peoples is at the heart of it. And for me, it's really important for this reason. I always think of education as being like developing two eyes as you look at the world. The one eye, maybe this eye, is the education that comes from growing up in your family and in your culture and in your town or village, and all the things that are specific to you and your people. And then the left eye is the education that broadens that out to engage with other people from other countries and other cultures and maybe other disciplines. And you bring the two together and then you see the world with that enhanced perspective. For me, coming to the Middle East and spending my career here and learning about the language and the different countries has given me that perspective through the two eyes. And I really like spending time with people from this part of the world who, through various ways, but very often through education in the UK, also have that dual perspective. I think it gives all of us together, working with others less fortunate than ourselves, who maybe yet haven't had the opportunity, but that we can encourage, or that even in their work and education, even if they haven't had the opportunities that we have all had, we can support and encourage them to see the world with that richer perspective. So this is a very personal welcome to you, and I'm looking forward to working with the alumni group in the years ahead. We had this group in Oman, in Muscat, and the British Council took on a huge responsibility and did it really well from about 2015 to make sure that we can spend time, resources, money to make sure that alumni groups have a great program of events together. And I offer you my personal commitment and enthusiasm to spend time with you at our alumni events. So thank you very much, everybody. Congratulations to everybody who participated in the awards. As a judge, I was very impressed by the quality of everybody. Congratulations to the finalists, and ultimately, as will become apparent, congratulations to the winners. I hope that today we can not just get to know each other, but actually develop some ideas for how we don't stop this great work. COVID has slowed us down a little bit. We all know that we're going to have to be careful in the way we travel, in the way we are educated. Some of it will be online, some of it will be face-to-face. But we're going to have to learn to live with this virus, and we mustn't stop a lot of the great and promising developments from happening. So today also we're symbolizing that by making sure we're having this event in a COVID compliant way, but that will enable us as the months go by and the vaccine rolls out to get back to a new normal and to make sure we re-establish all those programs of cooperation that mean so much to Qatar and so much to the UK. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. So next I'm going to quickly run you through who our four finalists are tonight. So when I call out your name, please do also give us a quick wave so everyone can identify you in the crowd. So our first finalist is Dr. Mark Owen Jones. Mark, do you want to give a quick wave? Thank you. So Mark is a graduate from Durham and Cardiff, specialising in government and international relations. Dr. Jones is an assistant professor in Middle Eastern studies who specialises in tackling the growing scourge of digital disinformation. Mark's award-winning research and groundbreaking investigative work has featured in the New York Times, Washington Post and on the BBC. Mark is writing his next book and training the new EU team in disinformation tracking techniques. I hope that's all right, Mark. Thank you very much. Our second finalist is Dr. Samer Ahmed. So Dr. Samer is a graduate from Cambridge University with a PhD in engineering. Dr. Samer's research is about understanding the mechanisms of spark ignition of turbulent flames, which has been used by major aviation companies such as Rolls-Royce to develop cleaner jet engines for airplanes. In addition, Dr. Samer is currently developing technologies and inventions to significantly reduce emissions produced from internal combustion engines, in particular diesel. Dr. Samer is now communicating with major automotive companies around the world to present an exciting patent on smokeless exhaust tubes, which are capable of eliminating completely smoke emissions produced from diesel vehicles and equipment. Our third finalist is Mr. Ekram Ali Sayud. Would you mind giving us a wave? Mr. Ekram is a graduate from London South Bank University with an MSc in Building Services Engineering. Mr. Ekram heads up the MEP and Sustainability Department at White Young Qatar. Mr. Ekram has been instrumental in designing various major projects along with promoting sustainability and guiding and mentoring engineers in the construction industry. Mr. Ekram promotes design thinking, sustainability and innovative solutions in all projects and is actively encouraging professional development of others. Mr. Ekram is now pursuing his second MSc, this time in psychology, via distance learning from Northumbria University. His intent to further expand his capabilities to connect and develop deeper relationships and to create new opportunities. And our final finalist tonight is Mr. Hamad Al-Jaffe. Mr. Hamad is a graduate from Derby and London Metropolitan University. As an engineer, Hamad plays an important role in building up the modern, or has played an important role in building up the modern telecommunications infrastructure in Qatar, working with Urdu. He's worked on upgrading the infrastructure to be able to handle the fast growth of mobile network demand and internet fiber optic speeds. In 2018, with the University of Derby, Hamad launched the first full-time MBA program designed based on the British curriculum and directed to global business administration requirements, leading to a CMI certification. Those are our finalists. Can we give them another round of applause? So to present our first award in the first category of professional achievement, I would like to invite to the stage Mr. Ahmad Turkman, who is the chairman of QBBF and the group CEO of Rumaila Group, and a UK alumnus, and also a Mancunian.
Well, I didn't really want to miss this opportunity. I'd like to thank British Council and all the organizers for having this prestigious award. I'm very privileged to be here among all of you. This award about distinguishing people who put their education into good use. What could be better than that? Education is all about learning and putting that learning into practice. And among us, people who excelled in their contribution to the society, to the science, to the study. People who put their names forward, they are winners. People who studied in UK, they have the certificate, diplomas, whatever they have, they're all winners themselves. In my opinion, studying in UK is one of the best things that could ever happen to a young man. I'll give you an example of myself. Well, I say young man, not so young man at the moment, but I was one time. My father studied in England. I studied in England. My children are studying in England. Growing up in north of Iraq at 10 years old, next door to an air base, all I wanted to be a pilot in the Air Force. Little I knew when I was 10 years old, I'll be studying in UK. I'll have the privilege of going to Buckingham Palace, meeting the royal family, and meeting all the ambassadors, prime ministers, and ministers visiting Qatar. This is my year 26 in this lovely country. I came in 1995. It was a tiny village, if I may say so. 400,000 population and 1,200 British population. Today we have more than 20,000 people working in this country and enjoying themselves. I've been privileged to be a CEO of a very nice group, a large group called Rumaila Group, one of the oldest established companies, 1978. Not many companies were established in 1978. When I came here, we only had 13 people. So my employee number is number 14. I'm happy, I'm privileged, I'm proud to say we employ more than 1,650 people, and we have manufacturing facilities in UK, India, Turkey and China. Also we own factories in UK where we employ British people there, and also we were very lucky to export British products into this country and the rest of the world. What British education taught me? Well, whatever I have today is due to my education. And I've been very honest with you. Going abroad from your own comfort environment, we all come from very close-knit family. We never cooked, we never washed dishes, we never tidied up, we never cleaned. As we all know, we're all spoiled by our mothers in our part of the world. So to go as a young man to England, my God, it was a shock. First of all, we get educated by saying refrigerator, bicycle, and also the word love only for these people who you really love. So when I went to Manchester, the bicycle became bike, refrigerator became fridge. And this old lady in the canteen, old enough to be my mother, called me love. I went home that day, started thinking, does she really love me or this is something else? So what I'm trying to say is an education. Just one thing really, I always remember my first experience of bonfire night. Firecrackers went everywhere, were so loud, sounded like gunshots. Having come from Iraq, we're very familiar with gunshots. So a friend of mine came and told me, oh, by the way, the Scots are invaded England. There's a war going on. And honest to God, I nearly believed him. This is how naive I was. But I'm glad to say, not anymore. So what I have, I owe to my education in England, and I strongly believe all of you to encourage your children, your friends and your neighbors and family members to go there. Also, I'm privileged to be chairman of Qatar British Business Forum, largest British business group, over 300 members. We were established in 1992. We work very closely with His Excellency Ambassador and the team at the embassy to promote British products in this part of the world. We've been very successful in cooperating with the embassy and British government promoting British products. Enough about me. I would like to thank all of you and to come here, and I believe I'm privileged to announce the winner. The winner for the category of Professional Achievement Award is Dr. Mark Jones. Dr. Mark. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Over to you.
Thank you. I wish I was a bit taller, you know. Feel like I'm hiding behind this. It's wonderful to be here today. Not least because it's my favorite time of year and my favorite time of the day, where the shadows are long and the sun casts a really warm glow. Just makes me particularly happy. But most of all, it's an honor to win a prize when the competition has been so incredible. So I feel very honored to have received this, and I thank you so much for deeming me worthy of this award. I think I want to talk a bit about my own journey, because I grew up in the Gulf. So I grew up in Saudi and then Bahrain from the age of about 3 years old. So really I'm a child of the Gulf, and the Gulf is where my heart is. And I remember having this kind of epiphany when I was about 21. It was in anger. I'd had a great education at Cardiff University. And I thought, I grew up in Bahrain and we weren't allowed to study Arabic. This was a very kind of peculiar thing of growing up at that time. It's changed now. And so I sort of said, the next thing I want to do in life is study Arabic. So I learnt to be an English teacher, and I worked in Sudan for a year where I was learning Arabic and teaching English. And then I found this fantastic opportunity to do this 2-year master's that took me from Durham to the University of Durham, the University of Edinburgh, and the University of the University of Damascus, where I intensively studied Arabic, and I studied the masters that became the basis for my PhD. And that, to me, was a really kind of profound experience in terms of studying. I realized what it is I wanted to do, and that was to teach and study Middle East politics. And then I did my PhD. But the next thing I realized I wanted to do was actually return to the Gulf. It's actually where I see I'm from. I'm a third culture kid. I feel like I belong here. And I feel like I've already studied in Wales, England, and Scotland. You know, my work in the UK is kind of done for now. And so I ended up here. And it's been fantastic. And I can already see in the crowd some incredibly important and inspirational people to me, particularly incredibly inspirational and successful women, Dr. Noha and Dr. Amal Al-Malki. It's fantastic to actually receive this award in front of you. So it's really great to be here. And thank you again for this wonderful award. And thank you, Your Excellency, for hosting this event. I hope we have great chats afterwards. And I'm sure we will. And, well, yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, Mark, and congratulations. So for the next award, I would like to welcome to the stage the founding Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Studies at HBKU, and also a UK alumna, Dr. Amal Al-Malki.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, Your Excellency, Sam, fellow judges, and fellow UK alumni. As both a judge on this year's competition and a UK alumna myself, I hold a particular appreciation to such an important celebration. Having spent the first 7 years of my 20s in the UK, I owe a big part of who I am today to these former years. Studying my master's and then my doctorate at SOAS taught me lessons beyond the confines of the classrooms or the lecture halls. SOAS was very well known for its interdisciplinary degrees, its comparative approaches, and its focus on Near and Middle Eastern studies as well as African studies. It was also well known for its diversity. On the campus that was situated between Mallet Street and Russell Square, I lived through daily student demonstrations to free Palestine and Tibet. I enjoyed Buddhist chanting celebrations and learned about the cultures, languages, and customs of the people of the world by knowing them and experiencing their celebration firsthand. We had the celebration actually on each day of the year in SOAS. SOAS was also an intellectual and a literary hub where I met some of the world's renowned Arabic intellectuals or intellectuals of Arabic origins, for example, Edward Said and other authors. What feels now like a lifetime is one of the best phases, actually, of my life. My career in SOAS, my years in SOAS have influenced who I am and whom I have become as an educator, author, and dean. Teaching post-colonial novels, composition, translation, and feminism is only one aspect of such influence. Writing about Middle Eastern women and contributing to the literature and the knowledge produced about the Middle East from the Middle East is another factor or another facet. But also when I was given the chance to create new institutions in Qatar, I reached out to the best UK institutions whom I trust and I know to add a value. So for example, I specifically mention my collaboration with Bloomsbury Publisher in the UK for collaborating on establishing an annual translation conference, one that I've launched and I've been organizing for the last 11 years. I also reached out to my colleagues and a mentor actually in Manchester University when I established the Translation Interpreting Institute in 2012. Not to mention my close ties to SOAS that remains to this day. I would like to mention our collaboration and celebrating their 100 years in 2017, in which Baroness Valerie Amos was there. My education journey in the UK informed my career choices, for sure, leading me to where I have reached today as an educational figure, shaping higher education in Qatar in the fields of humanities and social sciences. However, what I've gained personally is richer and much, much more. And I would say much more tangible even in my personal life and on the lives of people around me. So I'm very pleased to have been invited to present this important award. The award recognizes alumni who have made an exceptional contribution and commitment to creating positive social change and improving the lives of others. And the award goes to Mr. Hamad Al-Jaffe.
Hi everyone, my name is Hamad Al-Jaffe. I am the Training and Nationalization Manager in Qatar Fuel Additives Limited Company, known as QAFAC. I did my first undergraduate degree in Electronics and Communications Engineering with honors from North London University, later known as London Metropolitan University. And my second degree, I did Master in Business Administration Global from Derby University in Derby City. Studying in the UK is not only about learning specific knowledge, but it is a golden opportunity to discover a rich heritage and cultural variance. Education in the UK gives you the skills to be well prepared for the market in both technical and non-technical discipline. Winning such an award means a lot to me. Knowing that someone values your work towards the community is an honor. So thank you very much to British Council and British Embassy. And I'm encouraging all my fellow colleagues to participate in future events. Thank you very much.
So for our next award, which is our People's Choice Award, I would like to invite to the stage the founder and CEO of iLoveQatar.net, former UK alumnus himself, and a recent finalist as the country director for the British Council mentioned for the Global Study UK Awards, Mr. Khalifa Al-Haroun.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, for having me today. Before I get started, with my talk, they only asked me to be inspirational, witty, and wise, so no challenge there. I just wanted to say thank you so much to the British Embassy, and of course also to the British Council and all of the amazing work that they're putting together to keep our relationship alive. So it's not simply about going to university, getting your degree, and then moving on. I don't know of any other institution that does this. In fact, I actually searched before saying this. And honestly, what you are doing for Qatar is really amazing. And I think you all deserve a round of applause. So let's give them a round of applause to the team. Fantastic job. So real quick, for those of you that don't know me, I have actually set up a couple of businesses. One of the businesses is I Love Qatar, which actually ended up getting set up while I was a student in the UK. And today it is one of the biggest digital media networks here in the country. But when I first wanted to get this started, I was told that my idea was too big and it wasn't going to work. And look where we are today. So I thought, okay, now that I've succeeded, I want to work on my next business project. Maybe now I'll get the support. So I wanted to work on something called Raqami TV. Raqami TV, I needed the funding. I was told that it wasn't going to be successful, it wasn't going to be possible to do it here in Qatar, and now it is one of the world's biggest tech channels. So I thought, all right, my life is going to get a little bit easier now with my next project. So I decided to go and set up Store 974. Store 974 has become an award-winning tech and PC part business where we represent over 42 different international brands in the country, build a PC, we educate people how to assemble their computers. But it was very difficult for us to get the funding. And today, we are actually the first company to actually have a joint venture with Disney. So here in Qatar. And we're going to be working, in the Middle East. The reason why I share that is because sometimes you always feel like things are going to get easier. but they don't. And when I took a look at every single project as a judge, looking at all the amazing work, I saw something similar between you all. The fact that, one, you don't give up. Two, you want to make an incredible difference in this world. And of course, three, I think there's a question some people ask, but I hope that all of us ask ourselves, which is, how do we want to be remembered? And I think all of you will be remembered for really doing something amazing for your family, your people, your community, and your country. So that's the little inspirational part put to the side. Just to go back, in regards to, yeah, that's a tick? That's a tick? Okay. So to go back onto the subject of my educational time in the UK, and to actually refer to something that I was told by my dad before going to the university. My dad told me three things. He said to me, Khalifa, I want you to go ahead and get your degree and only bring back that degree. I said, what do you mean? He said, just don't bring back a wife. I said, okay, Dad, I won't bring back a wife. He said to me, Khalifa, I also want you to make sure that you make as many friends as possible from all over the world. I said, I'm okay. I'll make as many friends as I can. And I joined lots of different, community centers so that I could meet people from Turkey, from China, from Japan. It was incredible to see that I could meet all of those people from all over the world in the UK, which I consider a melting pot, of different cultures. He said to me, Khalifa, the third thing I need you to remember, please don't get surprised when you see how much cucumbers cost. See, here in Qatar, we buy cucumbers by the box. It's like 20 riyals. In the UK, you buy half a cucumber for 30 riyals. That was a shock to me. Okay. So that was a little message, that my father, shared with me as well. I think the last thing that I wanted to really share with you is an important story, a story that my grandmother, God rest her soul, shared with me. And the reason why I remember that is because I want to share a story that had something related to the UK and Qatar. And this is related to hospitality. My grandmother told me of a story, and of course, stories get passed on, just like all these different fables. True or not, it doesn't matter, it's the message behind it. My grandmother told me that there used to be a Bedouin man who was very well known for his prize Arabian stallion. This stallion was so famous, not for its speed or its power, but for how beautiful it was. People would pay this man so that they could take a look at this horse. And this is how he used to sustain his family. So the father, the mother, the son, the daughter, this is how they would survive. Now sadly, as time had passed, what happened was that the son, the daughter, and the wife had passed away in a tragic accident. So the father was all alone, living in his tent. And of course, he still had his prized possession, which was the Arabian stallion. Many years passed, the horse got a little bit older, it couldn't generate as much income as it could. But the reputation of that Arabian stallion went all over the world. And one day there was this rich British man, again, that's my grandmother saying, there's a rich British man who wanted to go and take a look at this Arabian stallion. Maybe he wanted to buy it. So he flew all the way to Qatar. He said, I'm going to go take a look at this horse. So he asked around Doha, where can I find this person? They said to him, listen, you go closer to the center where you see the desert and you'll see a tent. Go into that area and that's where you will find him. Now by then, the man didn't really have much. He was actually quite poor. He welcomed the British man into his tent and he said to him, listen, come in, relax. I'll try to serve you as best as I could. So he went out, came back, and he had this feast. So he presented this feast to him. Please enjoy, eat. This is how we welcome people here in Qatar. After the night has ended, after the fire went out, the British man said, I still have one more request. Thank you so much for the kindness. Can I see your Arabian stallion? And the man said, I wish I could, but I had to kill him to serve you this meal. Now, some people might take this in certain cultures that this is quite dark, but in our culture, you will do whatever it takes to make people feel welcome. And today I'm sharing this story because not only do we hope that we made the British community feel welcome here in Qatar, but thank you to, of course, the British Embassy and the British Council for making us always feel welcome in the UK and keeping on the story for us to pass on to our children, inshallah. Did I pass? Thank you. So, all right. It's time to select the winner. And honestly, this is one of my favorite categories because it's all about the people. It's all about the community. And the winner is Mr. Ekram Ali Sayud. Congratulations. This is for you. Podium is yours.
Alhamdulillah. Thanks to God. Thank you. It's an honor. I'm delighted today, and this award means a lot to me. I'm extremely grateful for the British Council, the esteemed panel of judges for selecting me in the finalist. His Excellency John Wilkes, each and every individual who voted for me. It means a lot. I have worked a lot with many people, and people to select me and to give me so many votes. It's very, very immensely gratifying. Thanks to one and all. It's been a very active and a long journey over the last 20 years in engineering, especially for the last 15 since my master's, and over the last 10 in Qatar, which is now my second home. And I'm absolutely honored to be here and to be part of the growth in Qatar. I've worked with a lot of projects for the government, for the military sector especially, and that's been my. I'm absolutely delighted to be part of Qatar. There are a few people who I especially want to thank who have been part of my journey. Professor Tony Day for London South Bank University. He always supported me, guided me to, besides the technical guidance, he always mentioned to follow my passion, to trust my instincts, and which I did absolutely. I would thank the GM and the director of White Young Qatar, Mr. Jonathan Barker and Mr. Matthew Baldry, who gave me a nice working environment and trusted my capabilities. I would thank Stephen Matthews, the CEO of Chartered Institution of Building Services Engineers UK, who gave me the opportunity to work with different people in the industry and to contribute in the professional development of them. And last but not the least, I would like to thank my better half, my wife Rafat. She didn't wrote this speech, but yeah, she has been there right from the start and always supported me with so many hours I have been spending on my own personal growth and that of others. This award reignites my passion for sure, and I will work again with more people, with a wider audience this time, and I'll make sure I make a strong impact. Moving forward into a post-COVID world where social distancing is now becoming a norm, I always say that social education is the answer. And by that I mean that more and more people must be educated. With so much information available outside, access to good quality higher education is definitely required. And people are all so distracted as well. So unless a structured and high quality education is provided, these things wouldn't help the next generation. And that's where the finalist and the work done by the British Council and each one of us counts. I'm glad to be part of this social event, and as I always say, social education and continuous professional development is the way forward. Finally, I'll just mention when I started my MSc in psychology, people questioned why I'm doing this after 20 years of engineering and management, and this award is the answer for that. I always want to work with people and people like me and support me, and that's been my strength. And I will continue to give back and focus more on the mental health and well-being of the people I work with. Thanks each and everyone. Thanks to everyone who voted for me, and thanks to the judges again. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Congratulations to everyone who won an award tonight, but also all finalists. I think all of the judges will agree that it was a very difficult choice because there's just such exceptional talent to choose from. So thank you very much for coming this evening. I'm now excited to ask all judges, the ambassador, and also the country director for the British Council, if you would be happy to proceed just behind me onto the green lawn. We're going to take a few more photos to celebrate this evening in a responsible, socially distanced way with masks, except for when you're drinking tea. Thank you very much, everyone.